serving you for decades, bringing you only the hottest and most relevant information in the world. CW News.
Hello there! Welcome to CW News. It's 2:13 in the morning, and my name is Destacamento.
I'm ever Joyce Magdalera.
And I am Francene Gail T. Barrow. We are here to deliver the most current and relevant information on world politics and governance.
World's latest updates on the Russian and Ukrainian war, Ukraine economy seen being slashed in half. Austrian leader will meet Putin in Moscow on Monday. On the other side of the globe, Biden's liberal internationalism proving costly what to expect with the American leader's chosen road to maintain his brand of internationalism. And we have changing the laws of global governments, China taking action on spearheading the international environment, the Xi Jinping way.
All this and more on
CW News.
Updates on Russia and Ukraine's war from CNBC Camp to rock and pound just this Monday. Ukraine economy's seen being slashed in half. The closure of the Black Sea shipping has cut off some 90% of the country's grain exports and half of its total exports. Austrian Chancellor Carlvina has publicly announced through Twitter that they next plan on visiting Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday, April 11, after meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Saturday. Austria remains providing humanitarian aid to Ukraine during the war, and diplomatic relations are being initiated by this EU member country as means of its internationalism, which would still be in respect to the decisions of which would still be of two warring states with their domestic policies and global governance as an activity of the Austrian government that transcends national boundaries to give aid through coordinating with the behavior of transnational actors. Here, we continue to see the Ukrainian nations fight for their state against the Russian invasion, continuing with rougher consequences, as the Ukrainian socio-cultural identity as a nation is grappling with maintaining its political and legal entity of being a state that is independent and has always been independent, and has distinctively formed a nation whose culture was molded differently from Russia, as a nation is not created consciously, whilst a state is formed through conscious means.
Next up, we have Biden's liberal internationalism proving costly. Renowned historian Lucio Levi also says that internationalism as a political concept, which from a theoretic point of view, which does not attribute to any autonomy to the international political system with respect to the internal structure of the single states, and to foreign policy with respect to the domestic policy. Wall Street Journal reports that Biden's administration's bungled handling the Saudi Arabian allies in the midst of tensions within the Middle East has come at a costly price after Biden pursued a new nuclear deal that will give Iran the resources to finance proxy wars against Saudi Arabia, along with the Houthis of Yemen being able to freely drone and bomb Saudi after Washington decided to put a stop to arming Riyadh. The internationalism of the governments on this end can be seen to tend sacrifice if necessary the principles of law and morality, especially if they are to fight for their relevance in the interstate system, otherwise known under political science as the international system, which is the system of competing and allying states. Moreover, this has been the method of global governance tackled by Biden, which at most has caused things to go awry between the US-Saudi relations.
Up next, we also have China working to change the laws of global governance, the Xi Jinping way. China's rise throughout the recent years has provided it the necessary spot as a potential new global hegemon with how relevant it has become in the interstate system and how China's global governance shines through its most recent structuring of a legal toolkit titled Plan on Building the Rule of Law in China 2020-2025 that introduces an authentically Chinese law, according to the Xi administration, that is also able to be powerful even beyond Chinese borders, as it includes heavy cooperation from the interstate system on combating violent terrorism, ethnic separatism, religious extremism, drug trafficking, and transnational crime, all while protecting Chinese sovereignty and nationality. A great illustration of Beijing's internationalism. Still here in the CW News, political analyst Thea Millarez will be discussing what political science can tell us about Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Good evening, and good morning or good afternoon from every sector of the world. Thank you CW News for having me in behalf of Political Science View. So, when you're talking about political science, we believe Russia's invasion of Ukraine has rightly stirred outrage against an act of naked aggression and sympathy for plight of ordinary Ukrainians. So, I offer 5 insights from political science and what the crisis may bring. First, Pax Americana and the liberal international order. Second, the responsibility to protect and moral hazard. Third, occupation and insurgency. Fourth, audience cost and the autocrat's dilemma. And lastly, but not the least, cultural bias and inconsistency in the treatment of refugees. Russia's invasion of Ukraine weakens the liberal international order. It exposes a cultural bias in the world's treatment of refugees. The inconsistency erodes the already stained protection regime put in place for refugees after World War II. So, Russia was responsible for the destruction of Syrian cities from the air as well as the breaking of Afghanistan. So, yeah, basically that's it in behalf of political science. Thank you so much.
It's been the latest of the latest world news and updates.
Stay vigilant.
Remain on your most observant.